Hi, good morning. On August 19th, 1972, a late-night program was broadcast right here on NBC, and the name of that show was The Midnight Special.
After The Tonight Show on Friday nights, television went to black. There was nothing on. Right now there's movies all night. You see all kinds of reruns on, but there was nothing. I thought it would be terrific, just terrific, if I could come up with some type of show that people might want to watch after 1 o'clock when The Tonight Show ended with Johnny Carson. And it led to me thinking that, well, it has to appeal to younger people. That sounds like music, something in the music business, and it started there. When I first went to NBC to try and sell Midnight Special to them, the normal network resistance was there. Well, why would you want to do that? These rock acts won't show up. They're not going to be there. They won't do it. I was sure that most of the acts would show up. I wasn't sure that all of the acts would show up. How would I know? I'd never done anything like that before. I produced television shows and some game shows and things, but I didn't know for sure because I had the idea that it was an election year and therefore let's do a show to get out the vote. Let's get young people who turned 18 to get out to vote, and if I could get them as viewers, we'd be in business. And then, of course, NBC said no. I went back to NBC and I said, I will do the first show at my cost, and I'll license it to NBC. With that, they said, okay. When I created the pilot, I had about 6 weeks from day one to the day the show was going to air on NBC. So I started hiring acts, calling the record companies, trying to find out who had the hits, who would our viewers want to see, who were some of the names that were coming up. And one of them I called was a fellow named Jerry Weintraub. Called Jerry and said, Jerry, you've got some wonderful acts. Anybody you would like on the Midnight Special that would fit in the concept. Jerry said, well, I've got this fella. His name is John Duchendorf, and we're changing it to John Denver. He's got a wonderful voice. And I said, I've heard a song or two of his. He's terrific. He'd be a great guest. He said, no. He has to host the show.
Hiya, Cass.
Hiya, John.
How you doing?
Fine and dandy.
I'm great, too.
I didn't ask you how you doing.
Well, I like to say it once in a while because it makes me feel
Just to
better.
remind yourself.
Sure,
that you feel okay.
You know how it is.
That's all right.
We taped the show, and it immediately went on NBC on a Friday night. 1 to 2:30 in the morning. They had not done that before. First time in television. Monday morning following the pilot, the first broadcast of Midnight Special, the phone rang early in the morning, and it was the gentleman from NBC who first said no. He said, I think we have something here. The show's ratings were absolutely through the roof, and I want to talk to you immediately about doing a series. People associate the Midnight Special with music only, but we had the best comedians of their time. People like Steve Martin, Billy Crystal, Bill Cosby, Red Fox. They're all here.
Why don't you get together with him and y'all go somewhere and walk in the traffic about 3 days?
And I insist when you have only one M&M left, you have an M.
The first comedian to ever appear in the Midnight Special was George Carlin. He was on Show 2. So that was the combination of great comics, great musicians, great singers, and that was the start of the Midnight Special.
All right. We're gonna be right back with more of the Midnight Special.
One of the staff members came up with the idea of Wolfman Jack as a type of announcer on the show. We all thought that was an interesting idea. He'd been in American Graffiti. He had a very, very unique voice. He looked terrific but unusual. But I thought it was just a wonderful idea. Wolfman came out, and we used him on a show, and from that moment, he was the glue that held Midnight Special together.
The Midnight Special's late concert is coming up. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Oh, my, so you just keep on watching, baby, and you let the Midnight Special shine its ever-loving light on you.
It was so electric in our studio when we started this show, and that electricity never went away.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is my one and only sister, bless her heart, Aretha Franklin.
Now let's get ready to rock them one time with my friends Cheap Trick doing Surrender. Come on, Ricky.
Keep in mind, there really wasn't any other place to go. Where would you go to sing your music the way you wanted to do it? You couldn't do that anywhere else. So it was so exciting to have these artists call us and say, is there an opening for me? And you knew that they were stars and had the #1 record in the country. Midnight Special was so successful for so many years because of the quality standards that we kept. We knew that we had to have the best artists all the time. And every once in a while, we would postpone a show if we could not fill the show out with people that we felt were really celebrities and stars at the time in the music business. We really felt that we had blazed new trails. The music was great, the comedy was funny. Everybody was talking about the Midnight Special. It was just an amazing thing.
Legendary stars, legendary performances, songs that made history. All live, all rare, and never before released. And now, all yours.
The Midnight Special was really watching a concert. It was like being in, say, the Ryman Auditorium in the South up to Madison Square Garden, a Radio City Music Hall. But instead of having one act come out, we would have usually about 10 to 15 acts on the show, and so it was absolutely electric.
Midnight Special proved that rock and roll made good television. It was the beginning of seeing pop culture hit mass media. For me, the exciting thing about Midnight Special was it was really bringing our music, our generation's music, live to an audience, and it just hadn't been done that way before.
People only associate the Midnight Special with music, but the comedians that were on Midnight Special are absolutely outrageous. People like Freddie Prinze, George Carlin, Bill Cosby, Red Fox, and Steve Martin.
Well, folks, welcome to the... Oh, no! Ladies and gentlemen, we've had an accident here in professional show business. Now, of course, I am a professional. I can handle something like this, and it's part of my job, so don't worry about it. Everything's going to be all right. Okay, let's get going now.
I think this collection is legacy and performed in its purest form. It's not dressed up or fixed up in any way. We didn't get to go back in the studio and fix any of the notes. So this is who the act was at that moment in time, and there's a lot of classic stuff there.
These are one-of-a-kind performances. Absolutely one-of-a-kind. When you see Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin sitting on a piano bench doing a duet with Ray playing, that's live, that's hot, that's one of a kind. That's the only time that we know of that they did that. You cannot get that any other place. The Midnight Special has so many performances that are so unique and so interesting, so different. This is the place to see it.
The Midnight Special Collection features over 100 of your favorite classic artists. No music collection would be complete without these legendary performances.